I'm Janine Birtwistle, and I'm the Rotary Great Britain and Ireland volunteer lead for the humanitarian service team. And our role in Great Britain and Ireland, as far as the humanitarian service team is concerned, is supporting, informing, giving ideas, and helping what our Rotary members are doing out in the field. We are absolutely delighted as Rotary Great Britain and Ireland that we are now into the third year of a partnership with Bipolar UK. And that relationship is longer than that because there was some time getting to know each other before a formal memorandum of understanding was entered into. Bipolar, as I hope that you are aware, and there's lots of tools available about awareness about it, is a severe mental health illness. We know that our immediate past Rotary International President, Gordon McAnally, who is indeed from Rotary Great Britain and Ireland, one of his priorities was around mental health and supporting each other, caring for each other, erasing stigma and raising awareness. And it's absolutely terrific that this partnership is a key part of what we are doing here in Great Britain and Ireland. And indeed, Gordon himself is an ambassador for Bipolar UK. So, what we're doing today is we are coming together to give you some ideas, some hints and tips about what you could do to raise awareness in your local communities, particularly around World Bipolar Day, which is on the 30th of March, and the week leading up to it, but also more generally around bipolar and what you can do to help in your communities. Without further ado, I would like to hand over to a member of the cause-based Bipolar E-Club, which is a fantastic club that is really focused on supporting bipolar as far as what they are doing with their members who are either directly or indirectly impacted by bipolar. I'd like to introduce you to Steve Boyce, who is the secretary of the Bipolar E-Club. And unfortunately, he decided that his birthday celebrations today meant he couldn't join us in person, but he has recorded a video message for us all. And I'm sure that he would be very happy to hear from any of you that are interested in finding out more about the E-Club. So over to the presentation with Steve. Thank you, James.
Hello, my name is Steve and I am the Secretary of the Rotary Bipolar E-Club. It's wonderful to have you here today to hear about our plans for World Bipolar Day. And so on behalf of myself, all my fellow E-Club members, anybody with a bipolar diagnosis and any of their friends and family who are impacted by that diagnosis, a big heartfelt thank you. We had a great first year in Rotary last year on working with Rotary on World Bipolar Day, and we look forward to building on that. And again, thanks again for being here. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to my colleague, Peter McLaughlin, who I have worked with over the last year and is the Public Image Chair of the E-Club. So I hope you have a great session and hope to see you again sometime soon. Take care.
Thank you so much, Steve, and welcome everyone to the World Bipolar Day 2025 Zoom information session. Really appreciate everyone having the time to come along and learn a little bit more about the event and how you can get involved in your community. Just to introduce myself quickly, I am a member of the Rotary Bipolar E-Club and I'm the Public Image Chair for the club. But I'm also got a second hat as well as being part of the team at Bipolar UK. So just to let you know, this information session is only going to briefly talk about the condition itself. This is more to do with activities that you can do, and there will be further things that you can then take part in and join us on if you're looking for more information on the condition and other things as well after this. So just to let you know, there won't be a question and answer session. So if you do have any questions, do pop them in the question box and we'll get back to you after this in an email, and we'll be following up with more information as well after. So just to go on to the next slide. So briefly, to give an overview as to what bipolar is. So bipolar itself, it is a severe mental illness, and it's characterized by manic highs and depressive lows. It is a lifelong condition, but it's episodic. So it can happen at any time in someone's life. More than likely, you will have your first symptoms before the age of 21, but it can occur during other stages of life, including childbirth and other things that happen. So it's important to know that people are not unwell all the time, but it is episodic. So, and that is something that's sort of unique to it in that way. And it's also possible for people to live well with the condition, but that takes a lot of work and a lot of support. And one of the things that we offer at Bipolar UK is offering the peer support side, and that really helps with people with lived experience helping each other. And then, of course, you would need clinical support as well, along with lifestyle changes and other things in order to maintain that sort of wellness. So moving on to the next slide, just to give you an idea of some of the facts. And this is really why this is so important to be able to mark World Bipolar Day. So it's 1 in 50 people have the condition in the UK. So there's over 1 million people with it. That's actually more people that are living with dementia in the UK, which is quite surprising because dementia is so well known as a topic. But bipolar is something that's really prevalent, and we need to be able to help support people as well. And so this is helping raise the profile of it and being able to spot the symptoms and signs. There's 56% of those people are undiagnosed. So there's a huge lack of support there on the clinical side. Awareness as well. Some GPs may not know that people are coming in. If they're depressed, depression of bipolar, they can then be misdiagnosed. And so that is really tricky to navigate. But there's also a lot of lack of information out there in terms of how people can get their diagnosis. So that's what we try to help with as well at Bipolar UK. It is a sizable burden on the NHS, and that's because people respond to it in a crisis mode. And so that's really not what we want. We want people to be able to be kept well before they reach that point. And that's why being able to connect people in with our services is really important at an early stage so that they know that they're there. This is the real reason why this is so important as an issue. It is estimated that 1 in 5 people could take their own life with the condition. This is a lifetime risk. And this is really something that really means that there needs to be more work done in terms of being able to connect people with support services and being able to address these issues. So that's what we're here to do. Part of the reason of that is because of the 9.5-year delay to diagnosis. So we're really trying to do this for raising awareness, and we can do this as clubs throughout the country and share a little bit more on the next slide of how we can all come together in that. So World Bipolar Day, last year we had the official campaign Rotary for World Bipolar Day, and there was over 30 clubs then that took part in various different ways. Many of those supported us through in-person events, but also through digital communications. Everything is important when you're talking about reach online, social media, websites, as well as all of the in-person work that you can do. And so that is really important. And this is something that can be seen as a daunting subject because it's a serious mental illness, but it is something to celebrate in a way that recognizing people who have mental illness and being able to break down that stigma. So World Bipolar Day falls on Sunday, the 30th of March. That is chosen because it's Vincent van Gogh's birthday. So you can see him there. And that's really, to highlight as well, people can achieve incredible things who are living with mental illness. And of course, it's really important because it serves as a reminder. Vincent obviously took his own life as well. So we want to be able to help support people so that they do not feel that that is what they need to do. So it's really important for all of the awareness activities that happened last year. I've already know that we've surpassed in terms of sign-ups for this event, all of the people who were interested in this info session from last year. So we're really hoping to get as many people as you can, as have joined us here today and will watch this later to be able to do something in their communities. So on the screen, you'll see all sorts of different activities that happened. There was information sessions in local community centres, libraries, and other places where people were able to come along and and speak to someone and find out more information. There was collaborations with local charities. Peter Thomas worked together with his Sutton Mental Health Foundation to be able to host it at their premises. So it's a great opportunity to reach out to charity partners and others in your local community to talk about this, what you could do. You could have it in a shopping centre where you can hand out information and flyers. And you can also organise those group walks, which we've seen, which have been really successful in bringing communities and clubs together to be able to highlight the significance of this, the 9.5 year delay, and why it's so important. And there's also great other ideas that Erman, who's going to share a little bit more about in a minute, with what she did as a club. But it's really open to whatever you may like to do. And so that's the great thing about it. We will support you on it. There's a lot of nice things to consider as well. It's falling on Mothering Sunday this year, so you could incorporate it into existing Mother's Day events, arts and crafts, things that you may want to produce and sell in the community. Also tying it in with the Vincent van Gogh's theme, having sunflower related activities, items on stalls, things to capture people's attention. We're not expecting anyone here to be an expert within the topic. That's not what you're meant to do in the community. It's you're there as a signpost for services that are offered for Bipolar UK, and you may be the only interaction your community has with this topic. We don't have any people on the ground as a charity to do these community types of events. So this is why Rotary is so important and why it plays such a key role in being able to get the word out there. So no matter how big or small the activity is, it is really important to be able to try and bring people together and to show that you are able to talk about it. Let's talk bipolar. You don't need to have a serious conversation around mental health, but just to let people know that there's no shame in it and pointing them to support services through Bipolar UK. On the next slide, you will see just last year's impact. So this is a huge result. 30 communities through Rotary clubs were reached. 25,000 people accessed Bipolar UK's website through March as a result, and 3,000 then signed up to Bipolar UK's events, virtual events that were happening that week as a result as well. We were managed to get our social media increased to 248%. That's 24,000 people plus through Facebook and Instagram alone. So these are significant numbers. If even a fraction of these people are connected with support services, that's going to mean a lot for their people in their communities. And so people we know sometimes don't like to reach out to us directly and would prefer to follow us on social media. So all of that sort of stuff is really helpful for people depending where they are on their journeys. In terms of news coverage, 48 news items covered it in that space of the month, and that was incredible. And I just want to highlight here some of those news articles that were covered. So Steve, who was on the video, he sent in a press release to BBC Radio Surrey, his local BBC radio, and they called him up and they said, we would like to have an interview with you on the radio. So they had a 5 to 10 minute interview. He had just organised a walk in his local community. So they talked to him about that. And then you can see there the screenshot, the BBC News took that radio interview and published it and talked about his walk on the BBC News website. So that is just showing you how that can really help and how you can get word out there. Another great supporter of ours, Judith Pratt and her club at Hayward's Heath. You can see at the bottom there, she has got it into her local community papers, the activities that she had. She had actual bikes there to be able to signify the 9.5 years by doing 9.5 kilometers, I believe, on those bikes. So that is a really innovative way in which to get the messaging out there. Again, we're not looking for this to be serious in terms of what you can do. You can have very lighthearted activities, ideas, and that can be something that's a really good way just to get the simple message out there, and people can take that away and learn more in their own time. So that's another really good opportunity and way that you can engage with your local community. If you flick to the next slide there, please. So how can you help? You've been given a few different things here as ideas to consider. The next step for you would be to email us directly at the rotary@bipolaruk.org email address. So that way we can make sure that you're receiving the information for the day and what you can do. We're going to have much more sort of tips and things going on, but it also allows you to officially pledge your club's support and solidarity. You can see on the right-hand screen there, we managed to create a lovely graphic and highlighting those different clubs that have been part of last year. And so having your name on there really does strengthen it and show, across the country in the UK and Ireland that you've got all of these clubs, and together we've got a louder voice. Having that representation would be really great to have across the country again, and it shows it as a really important cause. And then also then you can decide if you would like to be a digital or an in-person supporter. So we can send you the materials for you to have stalls, as you can see in that other photo below, so that you've got that material ready. And we'll also have further training for people who want to do those in-person events, so that you've got more information on what to do and how you can manage it, and if you get questions and things like that. So we've got further support there to offer you. We've also got more ideas as well. If you're looking for something that you're maybe not sure on, we can point you in best practice and being able to support you there as well. So just have a think about what you might like to do, and then just reach out to us and we'll be happy to support. And then it's just taking part in the community in the day itself. So there's lots of other things that are happening around that week leading up to World Bipolar Day. So it might be that you want to attend the Bipolar UK's conference that happens on the Thursday before the Sunday, that will be happening online from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Or it might be the Rotary Bipolar E-Club has its own session to do with parenthood and bipolar. And so that's one that one of our members, she's a mother, and she said she's a new member and she wanted to tie it in with the date. And that was a really great way that we could do that. So now we've got a really interesting panel discussion happening on the Tuesday that week. So there's lots of great things that you can take part in and ways that you can market. And I would just say, consider that and reach out to us. And thank you again for coming along to hear more. I'm going to just pass you on now to hear a little bit more of a personal story about Irma's background as to her connection to the cause, and also what she did with her Rotary Club last year. So on the next slide.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Peter. As Peter said, my name is Irmine Mason. I'm French, and I've been living here in England for over 30 years. My sister in France has struggled all her adult life with bipolar, so I was really delighted when I heard the Rotary Club of Great Britain and Ireland was involved in supporting Bipolar UK. I've been asked to talk about my personal connection to the Bipolar UK cause. I'm the Vocational and Community Officer for the Rotary Club of the Studios of Elstree and Borehamwood, based in Hertfordshire. I'm responsible for organising and managing our activities within our local community. One of the 7 pillars of action of Rotary in the last few years has been mental health. So when I heard it was selecting Bipolar UK as its chosen charity, I immediately knew I could help. Personally, as a sibling of someone suffering from bipolar and a highly sensitive person, you go through the roller coaster of the changes of moods of your relative, and you soak up all those emotions. You also must deal with the consequences of the up and downs, offering greatly needed support, but also sorting out the practical aspects of life, difficulty studying, holding a job, relationships, the difficulties associated with giving birth and parenthood, later aging and its ailments, etc. The phone certainly is well used day and night, and travelling across and over the channel has no secrets to me any longer. So you can see why raising awareness is so important. I believe in the tremendous impact of Rotary in influencing large-scale issues in the world. For example, as you know, Rotary has led a powerful campaign to nearly eradicate polio globally. I dearly hope that this partnership has an important impact on Bipolar UK too. I truly believe research into the condition, as well as offering support to those affected and their relatives, is vital. The conversation about mental health conditions has started, A clearer understanding and reducing the stigma attached to the condition must happen in the wider community and within the medical profession in particular. Awareness and therefore training should cover at least the following, in my opinion: how to diagnose the conditions quicker. As Peter said earlier, it still takes around 9.5 years for the diagnosis. Appreciation of the high risk of suicide among sufferers. The influence of hormones, particularly around the menopause for women. The challenges of parenthood and the management of their young children and teenagers in particular. The impact of the condition on their children, their siblings, as well as their aging parents. The consequences on sleep. The difficulty in dealing with grief. Then treatments through medication in combination with suitable and targeted psychotherapy work should be offered and tailored to the individual. So what did I and our Rotary Club do last year? Around the time of Bipolar Day in 2024, with my husband, we organised a 5-kilometre walk around our local green spaces and charged a contribution of £5, as well as encouraging all to fundraise. We were lucky with good weather, and we were joined by about 20 people for a fun and active social occasion. We opened a Just Giving page to appeal to friends and family to make donations. We were delighted by their overwhelming generosity and messages of encouragement and hope. Secondly, a member of our local Rotary Club and dear friend organises once a month a musical acoustic instrument and singing evening in a local pub. As a member of a choir myself, I decided to contribute by singing with others, and we ran a raffle on the night. I found that the more we talked about bipolar during the evening, it was astonishing to hear how many people had close personal experiences of the condition. This shows how far and wide the illness spans. In our informal settings, people also felt more at ease, opening up and relating tough stories of friends and family affected. We distributed leaflets from Bipolar UK and produced our own publicity for both our events to spread knowledge of the illness. Those events were also reported in our local press. In total, we raised over £2,000 and spread better awareness of the cause around our local community. In summary, these initiatives made sense in the context of mental health, when we know how music and contact with nature can have a real positive impact on people's well-being. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you so much, Irwin, for sharing the personal story that you have there with your connection, and then also all of the amazing activities that you were taking part in last year. So that was really incredible to see that in action and to hear how it can all come together. So I just ask for people there who are interested in learning more to reach out to us. If you can see on the next slide, just a reminder of the email address for anyone's questions or anything else to come out of this. I just wait for a minute there. It says it on the bottom, rotary@bipolaruk.org. It would be together, all of us can make a difference here. Again, this is probably the only opportunity in your community where this is going to be an awareness raising activity for bipolar. It's unlikely to come up again without someone, being able to have it as a cause in your community. So just consider that, and if you can help support in any way, it would be wonderful, and get yourself on that map. And I'll just pass it back to Janine to wrap up.
Thank you very much to Peter and to Irmine. Really, really great ideas of how to get involved. And you don't have to be somebody that's directly or indirectly impacted by bipolar. We are so connected in our networks, whether it's with our local community, whether it's with the local university, whether it's with the mental health specialists in our area, whether it's just actually chatting about something in a pub. We really do have a very important role to play, spreading the awareness about bipolar. over 9 years for getting a diagnosis, and many still don't. But really, you can get involved. It's a great way of highlighting how you are helping in your community. And if you have got a connection that you think, well, actually, I'd like to do a bit more. So, as well as just working in relation to World Bipolar Day and raising awareness on that day and in the week leading up to it, if you're interested in getting more involved, we would love to hear from you within Rotary, because we've got lots of opportunities to work helping for as little or as much time as you want, with as many of your skills that you want to share with us to help further this cause even more. Please make sure that you share with us what you're doing. If you are using social media, please share what you're posting about with the Facebook group for Rotary Service. The more we start telling people about what we're doing, the better it is. And we can inspire others, like Irmin here today, being inspired by what Rotary was doing with the partnership with Bipolar UK, and then making a difference in relation to her personal experience, but in relation to raising that awareness in the community. Please keep an eye out always for articles in the Rotary magazine, because they're frequently in there around the relationship and the things that are happening. Make sure you look out for the Humanitarian Service newsletter. If you're a district lead related to humanitarian service or community, vocational, international, youth, lots of other ones, if it's about that, then you will get that email directly to your inbox on the 15th of every month. If you're registered with an email address and you're not in a district role, you will receive on the 17th of the month something called Service News. And within that, you will see the newsletters for the various specialist advisor teams, so including Foundation and Public Image and our humanitarian service. Click in that link, that newsletter, to find the information. We'd really like you to join us on this journey to really make World Bipolar Day, the week leading up to it, a very, very successful opportunity to raise awareness about bipolar, to raise awareness about Rotary and its relevance in our communities. And we would really like to hear from more of you. So watch out. We will be giving you more updates on Tuesday next week, when we give you the link to the recording and some follow-up materials. And there's lots of other information that we can forward to you, and you can access for yourselves, both on the Bipolar UK website and also on the Rotary website. Thank you very, very much for giving up your time today. Thank you to Steve for recording a video for us, to Peter and to Irmin for being with us today. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you and goodbye.